Gielinor, the magical world of RuneScape. It's divided into chunks for easy use. Welcome to Chunkman Dead Die Kill, the series where I conquer the landmass of Gielinor by doing tasks and unlocking chunks. Last episode we unlocked 2 chunks by doing 2 tasks. Those tasks were achieving another 25 total levels for a total of 1650, and the other task was killing the Grotesque Guardians 50 times to show our fighting prowess on the high scores. Our map expanded with the Grand Tree chunk and the Morton chunk. Today we will start with the quest this last chunk unlocked. We're here at the border of our newest chunk. Let's unlock it. Let's go into our newest chunk. And there seems to be a lot of afflicted people here. Some funeral pyres. And a lot of broken things. Broken buildings. Broken glass. So let's maybe search this shelf. Maybe that will give us more information on what's happening here. This diary belonged to a scientist called Herbie Flax, and he was looking into this city, the city of Morton, where there is a strange fog afflicting the townspeople here, where they are unresponsive and not really doing much. They get agitated, and he was looking for a cure, but before he could find the full cure, he was afflicted as well, as the book ends when he had found a solution which caused the afflicted people to go back to normal with a sip of the potion, but only for a few minutes. So he failed to find the full solution. There was also some talk of a temple to the north of here, where the townsfolk had a flame of some kind, so maybe that's also something interesting to look into. But for now, we will make some of the potion that lasts for a few minutes, and that's a Tarmin potion with some ashes. So we brought a bit with us, and let's see who we can talk to, who can maybe give us more information. The scientist in the book also talked about Razmeyer, the keeper of the general store here, and he was continuously increasing his prices, so maybe he knows a bit more about this affliction or what we can do about it. So let's use a piece of the potion on him and let's talk to him. Razmeyer here says that the cause is of all of these shadows here. They are sucking out the life of all the villages here. So let's kill a few for Razmeyer, and then let's see what he can do with the remains. Razmeyer here is happy with the 2 shades we got for him, and that's also the reason he opened up his general store. Razmeyer also gave us the instruction to visit Allsquire here. He would also like to get some hands on the remains here, so let's fix him as well, and let's see what he has to say. We asked Allsquire about the temple in the north, and he says it's an old pagan temple which is currently broken down by all of the creatures around there, and it used to be called Flametear. He would like to rebuild it, and maybe we can do something like that to help him with that, and who knows, we will find a better way of curing people. We bought some of the supplies from the general store of Razmeyer, so let's go and rebuild the temple. Here we can see the temple is already built by other players, but we will need more sanctity for us to be able to use the olive oil on the flaming fire altar here. So let's kill some of the shades, reinforce some of the walls, and then let's see what we can do. Let's see if this is enough. Yep, there we have some sacred oil. And now let's see if we can upgrade one of the serums we made. There we go, that's the serum 208 instead of a serum 207. Let's use our newest serum on Razmaier, and that does seem to do the trick. Razmaier feels that he has fully been restored to his old self, and not only temporarily. Razmaier was also mentioning that the shadows are guarding some treasure, so if we use this sacred oil on some logs, we get some pyre logs, and that way then can use on the funeral pyres here with some of the remains, put them on fire to make sure they are gone, the spirits, and we get some coins. Let's go back to Razmaier and tell him what we found and what happened when we burned the shade with the pyre log. With giving Razmaier the information that we burned a shade and restoring him to his former self, curing him from the disease, he gave us the entrance to what the shadows are protecting, and it's just north of where we are here in the Shade Catacombs. Now let's do the same with the new serum to Alsquire, the other person we talked to in this town, and giving the same information that we burned the shade. That is the end of Shades of Morton. We get 3 quest points, 2000 crafting experience and 2000 herblore experience. A bit of a weird ending, but now we know what we need to know, I guess. How to do the Shades of Morton minigame. One of the more important things is that we now can use the Shades of Morton minigame teleport. So this is going to be really helpful to get fast to Barrows and fast to Berg the Rod. Before we complete the quest on our spreadsheet, let's also go and give this diary to the people in Varrock, where Herbie Flax was wanting this book to go. When we give the diary to the apothecary, he will give us some knowledge on herblore for our troubles, so let's give him the diary, and there we go, that's another 335 extra herblore experience. Anyway, that was the quest Shades of Morton completed. Let's finish it on our spreadsheet, go back to our map and pick another chunk. The third quest after unlocking the Morton chunk, that was the completion of Shades of Morton. Brings us up to 70 quests completed now and a total chunk amount of 218. And then back to our map. We of course just unlocked the Morton chunk, and that doesn't really change much as we already had all of the chunks adjacent to it unlocked except for Barrows, which also would be a great chunk to unlock. So let's see what we are actually going to get. Let's pick a chunk. Okay, starting with some water, getting closer to a part of the desert, the newest part of the desert. But as it was a water chunk, let's try again. Pick a chunk. Ooh, another desert chunk, but it is the chunk which was locked for so long. We finally have the chunk next to the ruins of Uzer with most of the hunter creatures. We need this chunk for the medium diary of the desert, so this will definitely be useful. The only thing we are missing is the Eagle's Peak quest now to be able to do the medium diary. So all in all, a decent chunk, not really anything for now, but it will be very useful in the future. The next quest we can do after unlocking the Morton chunk is going to be in search of the Meyer key. We're here in the Cannabis pub and we need to talk to Vanstrom Klaus to start the quest. Vanstrom Klaus is looking for a group of rebels who are rebelling against the vampire overlord over here in Mauritania. He wants to help them with giving them some steel weapons like you see here in our inventory, but he doesn't seem to be able to find them, so he wants us to find them and then give them the steel items we got for them. The group is called the Meyer key, so that's why the quest is called In Search of the Meyer key. For a first hint we need to go to the boatman. He should have the first hint. And that boatman seems to be just within the Barrows chunk. So let's teleport there with our minigame teleport and let's see if we can get to him without crossing the borders of the chunk. There he is. Cyrek Paddlehorn. Let's maybe wait a few minutes to see if he goes over here. Maybe we can talk to him from this chunk. Cyrek over here doesn't want to come just in front of us. He always stops next to these crates. So this will be again a quest we will have to put on hold until we get Boaty here. I really thought the boat was within the Shades of Morton chunk, but apparently it's not. So let's see what else we can do. With unlocking the Tree Gnome Stronghold, or the Grand Tree part of it anyway, we now have the option to go to this clothes shop, which would give us a lot of items for some easy clues which we previously couldn't do. So the only thing we would need is the hot air balloon transport, where we need 60 fire making. So let's get a couple of clues together, and as soon as we get a step we cannot do because we need one of those clothing items, let's just get that 60 fire making. Let's get the item and then return, and then let's just go for a total of 25 easy caskets for our next chunk. And there we have it, our fourth clue I think, and we need a blue rope top and a turquoise rope bottom, which are both items we need to buy from the shop in the Grand Tree. And it's at the Lumbridge Mill, so this is going to be a stash unit we will be able to use later on as well. But first of all, let's get to 60 fire making. And there we go. That's 60 fire making. 8 levels and more than 1000 maple logs later we finished that one. So let's now go to Entrana and unlock the route to the Grand Tree. And there we go, just on the edge of the chunk. What we got here? We also unlocked the route now, so we don't have to do that again. And now let's go and buy the things we need from the shop. We're just going to buy everything we need for all of the clues, so we don't have to come back here anytime soon, as it will just be annoying to burn more magic logs that way. And there we go. That should be all the items we will ever need for all of the stash units, both easy and medium clues. So this is going to unlock a lot more steps for us to do on the easy clues. So let's continue with the current one, as we now do have the 2 items necessary for it. And just the clue after, so we just made the stash unit with the items we just got, and the next step was immediately another step where he needed the green boots now. So all of the items we just got from the Grand Tree are paying off immediately. One extra step we can now also do is this one, where we need to dig just behind the Grand Tree. So we will have to go back to the air balloon and get there by paying a magic log. So all in all, a very good chunk to have unlocked. And that's the next 25 easy caskets obtained. With unlocking the Grand Tree, it got me wondering on how many things we still miss to get the full options on the easy treasure trails. So let's maybe go to a map we have, and this map pretty much shows you all of the clue steps, or which clue steps are available in which chunk. I took the liberty at unlocking everything that has an easy clue step and that we have unlocked as well. So as you see, there's a lot of steps over here that we all have unlocked. We are missing one here in Caterpie, then a couple of steps in the Kandrin region, one more in the Tree Gnome Stronghold, and then if we go down, we also have two more in Yanel, one more in the Corsair Cove, so all of those are fairly close. And then we have the Zaya ones, and this is about 9 clue steps which we cannot do. For the other things that we cannot do, we also still miss all of the songs on this region. So these steps we will probably never unlock before we get to the 500 easy clue mark. But it is interesting that we are still missing quite a few steps in this region here. And it would be great to unlock them, of course. And then back to the main game. Let's have a quick glance over what items we have in the easy treasure trails. We are currently at 400 with 77 uniques obtained, and we're still waiting for the flared trousers. And then it's time to open them. Let's see what we are going to get. Starting off with a new blessing, the War Blessing. There we have a duplicate black plate body and a new green elegant skirt. And another new unique, already 3 new uniques in 4 caskets. That's the black wizard robe trimmed. A new Gutex page. A new black helm heraldic. The uniques are really coming in, and we have over half, so it's really difficult to get new uniques at the moment. So pretty lucky. And there's another new unique, Staff of Bob the Cat. Oh, we had a new page, an ancient page, and this is another new item. The bronze plate legs trimmed, and we even got a duplicate bronze plate body trimmed as well for the full set. And they keep coming. A blue wizard robe trimmed, that's new, and a duplicate black plate skirt. And even the chest after, that's another duplicate, an iron plate body trimmed. And that's another duplicate, another Bando's robe legs. And the last casket even has another duplicate, a black shield heraldic too. So this opening was really rich in new uniques. Even so that we cannot put them into the bank anymore, as our bank is now full. So we'll have to do a cleaning up. As for the pages, let's see if we finally have a full book. And it does appear so. We finally have one of the books fully completed, the ancient book. But anyway, that was 425 easy treasure trails done. 75 more until we reach our last task. But let's complete this task on our spreadsheet and then let's pick another chunk. That was our 41st clue task. We are almost halfway to the total clue task amount. And this was 425 easy treasure trails completed. And that brings us up to 219 landmass chunks unlocked now. And then back to our map. The last chunk we unlocked was the chunk with the hunter spot next to the ruins of Uzer in the desert, and that doesn't really change much as this was a solitary chunk that was actually very close to our starting chunk. So like we saw on the clue map, we pretty much want anything just about over here in the Kandrin region to unlock more of the easy clue steps, and maybe one in Yanel. That would also be great. Otherwise, pretty much we noticed that the Barrows chunk is pretty much going to be holding back a lot of things as we need it for the Key questline, and it unlocks a new boss. So actually getting the Barrows chunk would probably be the greatest chunk at the moment. But it's still the chunk picker that's this size, of course, so let's pick a chunk. And we get a new boss, but it's Scorpia in the wilderness. Not something we're going to do anytime soon, as it is pretty much the highest level of the wilderness. That's going to be all for this episode. After unlocking the Morton chunk, we're getting really close to Barrows, so let's hope we get that chunk soon, as we will need it to finally start the Key questline. If you've reached this far, please consider using the subscribe and the like buttons below. As always, have a good one and see you next week for more Chunkman progress.